Hello ladies and gentlemen of YouTube, welcome to my channel and my much belated entry into the Unified Scale Auto Content Creator Group build for 2025 and 2026. I built the Camaro, the 69 Camaro, into Bill Jenkins' Grumpy Toy 6, right? So this is it right here. I had rushed through parts of this kit. I thought maybe I was going to be able to finish on time, but I had rushed through it. And let me see if I can get a better view here of the paint job. You'll notice here on the I don't know how well the camera is going to be able to pick up on this, but you will see scratches in the two-part clear. When I put down a two-part clear, it had a lot of orange peel, and I came in with some coarse sanders to try and get rid of it, and I really ended up putting a lot of scratch marks in the paintwork. Even after I tried polishing out with different compounds, the scratch marks were still there. Also too, right here, I had touched the window, the rear windshield or window, when I had super glue on my thumb. So in order to hide that imperfection, I put those stickers right there, these decals right there. They usually go on the other side over here. Also too, you will notice I was a little bit, I was a lot heavy-handed with the two-part clear here as well, and I lost my panel line detail. So, what a bummer. Also, too, you'll notice the black trim here on the bottom, the black in the back and on the other side as well. I use AK's brush markers for that. But what I should have done was to maybe seal that off before I applied the decals in the setting solution, because it ate away at that. All right, now let's talk about the wheels and the tires here. The wheels and the tires both came from the 68 Dodge Dart Hemi kit by Revell. All right. This right here was printed by someone at work for me. I had the STL files and I gave it to them and they printed it off. And the type of printer that they had, you got two types of 3D printers, the filament type and the resin type. The type that he had was the filament type. Okay. Also, too, the hood pins there that you see, okay, I forget where I got those, but those I came from, I don't know where those came from, but I had them, so I used them. Bill Jenkins' Grumpy Toy 6 had two hood pins in the front. Okay, I know that because what I did was to try and make this as authentic as possible, I would go into Google Gemini and ask questions like, okay, did Grumpy Toy 6 have hood pins? How many, front or back? So, yeah. So let's, I'm going to try and get you in so you could see the interior a little bit. Let me see if I can lighten that up some. Might not be able to. I don't know if how well you're going to be able to see that, but anyhow, the steering wheel, the shifter, and the seat were aftermarket. The seat belts that you see there, hopefully, are 3D decals. The roll cage, I believe, came from the 68 Dodge Dart. Also, too, I have don't forget about the tachometer. That was aftermarket, too. The fire extinguisher, that was 3D printed. aftermarket, 3D printed. All right. Now let's talk about the front grille and how I handled that. Now I see where a lot of guys actually would sand the back until it would disappear, and so what you would have is the grille and you'd be able to see through it, right? Well, what I did was I used a buffable paint. It's called dark iron, and then I just kind of dry brushed it, okay, so that the raised areas would kind of show up there. The headlights, I used clear blue for the adhesive to adhere the headlights to the front grille. Same thing here with these guys. All right, let's talk about these guys right here. The back headlights. Bill Jenkins Grumpy Toy 6 use standard Camaro headlights, and then what I did for the chrome effect that you see is I used a buffable chrome paint, and I painted up and down with a large dry brush, up and down. If you go side to side, it'll get into these areas here. But if you go up and down with a larger brush, then you'll get, I think you'll get the effect you're looking for. All right, now let's look at the engine bay, because I did do detail there as best I knew how. Okay, so let me see if I can get this off without breaking it. Ta-da. Okay, so here it is. Here's the engine bay. Now, I had to make a lot of modifications in the chassis. There's some parts that I had to leave out in order to fit the engine in there. I'm going to try and let me see. Oh, that's a little bit too light, huh? I don't know. Anyhow, here is the engine bay. I used a 90/80 big block Chevy engine. Okay. I'd reached out to somebody and I said, could you print me a 427 big block Chevy engine? And somebody explained to me that you could just take any big block Chevy, put Marazzo headers on it, and call it whatever you want. So that's what I did. You got Marazzo headers here, okay? I painted that in a dark iron buffable paint, and then I dry brushed it so that the word Marazzo would come out. I don't know if if you can actually see it or not. All right. The brake, what's that called? The brake booster. The top was painted in a buffable gold and then dry brushed to make it look realistic. Bill Jenkins Grumpy Toy 6 did not have a master cylinder. I found that out by going into Google Gemini and asking the question. Okay, now you'll notice here, that is a fuel cooling can. Bill Jenkins Grumpy Toy 6 did indeed have that. And you'll see that I have a hard line here from the carburetor to the fuel cool can, and then from the bottom of the fuel cool can down to the pump. Also too, the hose that you see here, I got that from MCV Products. Okay, and I really had a hard time shaping the wire. If you're looking into replacing the hose with aftermarket part hose, make sure it matches the one that came with the kit, and then glue it in on the engine before you position the engine in the engine bay. All right, I would suggest that. You'll see here that Bill Jenkins' Grumpy Toy 6 didn't have a radiator fan. It had electric cooling fan. Okay, and I have it there, but the thing is, it doesn't go on the back of the radiator, it goes on the front. Okay, so if you plan on building this kit and make it look as authentic as possible, make sure that the electric fan goes on the front and not the rear of the radiator. What else in here? Oh, the distributor. Oh, as far as this hard line here for the fuel for the carburetor, I got that from MCV Products. It was called anodized accessories. It gives you various shapes and sizes, so that's what I used. You'll see the distributor. I use aftermarket there. I did not use the type that come already made up. I'm trying to get away from doing that. So instead I used the aftermarket part with some wiring looms. You'll see the wiring looms in there. And I painted it red because I like contrasting colors. That's just who I am. I just like contrasting color. There's a tachometer right there. That's aftermarket too. The roll cage, I think I mentioned that or not. I don't know if I did or not, but there's the roll cage. I think that came from the 68 Dodge Dart. Also too, there's a fire extinguisher in there. That's aftermarket. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to turn this over. Hope I don't break anything. Aha! Now you'll notice the bottom chassis is painted white. And that is true. It is white. And the reason why Bill Jenkins did that is because white colors, lighter colors, repel the heat, whereas darker colors absorb the heat. Okay, so what he wanted to do is to repel the heat, so he painted the bottom chassis in white. Now I want to show you here a foobar that I had. There were some inserts that went in here and here. I had to cut those out, otherwise these guys would not fit. Okay, you'll notice here the oil pan. The oil pan, the type of fuel system that Bill Jenkins used in his Grumpy Toy 6 was a wet sump pump. So the pump was actually on the inside of the oil pan, and it had a kick out on the passenger side for whatever reason. I don't know why. There was a lot of parts here that I had to, as far as the engine well goes, I had to cut away at that as well as in the back in order to get the chassis to fit in there. All right, now I want to talk about the back here. You'll notice that I put these traction bars on here. That did not come with the kit. But Bill Jenkins did indeed make use of that in his Grumpy Toy 6. And the purpose of these traction bars is to prevent the leaf spring from wrapping around the axle on a sudden acceleration that you'll experience with a drag car. All right. Let's see here. I had to modify the axle a lot to get it to fit in there. I'd fit it. If it didn't fit, then I cut it again and then fit it. If it didn't work, I cut it again. And I would keep on doing that until finally it fit. This part I kind of screwed up. In conclusion, who was my inspiration to build the Revell 69 Camaro into Bill Jenkins' Grumpy Toy 6? My inspiration was one of my favorite model builders on YouTube, and that's Lucas C. He knows a lot about drag and race cars, and he appears to focus on cars made in the 70s, 80s, and the 90s, maybe the 60s, and I like that. I like the older school type of drag cars and race cars, primarily drag cars, because of the livery. I like the different liveries used on different drag cars. So he was my inspiration. He's very knowledgeable in mechanics. And like, for example, he talks about the bottom chassis and why it was why he painted it white. And he also built up this kit as well. He did an excellent job. Hopefully he will maybe respond to this video with the one that he did. So that's it. I'm sorry that I'm late. But my ultimate goal is to finish on time and have it appear in Scale Auto Magazine. That would be my ultimate goal right there. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll talk to you later. Goodbye.